guys, welcome to Keep It Spiritual with myself, Chris Meredith. Now today I bring you a fabulous psychic angel worker. She's a spiritual teacher and of course she's a fabulous author as well. It's the beautiful Katie Oman. Yes, it is a lovely Katie. What a beautiful person she is as well. And she just brought out a brand new book which is called The Self-Love Pledge. If you haven't got it, go and make sure you get it because it's fabulous. Now, getting the chance to catch up with the beautiful Katie, you will find out what a special and beautiful soul she really is. No matter where you are in your life, Katie's journey is so inspirational and so spiritually needed right now. So I really hope you enjoy this fabulous chat with the beautiful Katie Oman. So hi Katie, so first of all, welcome to Keep It Spiritual. First of all, how are you doing, my lovely?
Okay, I mean, it's the craziest of times, as we know, but, you know, we just keep trying to keep positive and keep smiling and all that good stuff.
Which you're doing beautifully, Katie. You really, really are. So, first of all, Katie, you're an author, a psychic, an angel worker, a spiritual teacher. I mean, first of all, where do you find all the time to do everything?
I'm very good at time management as well. I mean, having 3 kids on your own, you just get very, very good at prioritizing. And you see, my thing is I want to help people, right? I want to help people as much as I possibly can. And I also have quite a low boredom threshold. So I think, well, this way I'm helping people, but I'm keeping myself inspired and motivated as well. So
Hey, I love it. I love it. What a good explanation that is as well. Keeping yourself out of trouble, I would say.
yeah, boredom's not my friend. I don't like being bored, so I keep myself occupied and out of trouble, definitely.
Love it. Absolutely love it, Katie. So, first of all, Katie, as well. So, what's been your spiritual journey so far?
Oh, my days, darling. How long have you got? Jeez Louise. So 2010 was really my big turning point, my spiritual awakening. Before then, I kind of dabbed my toe a bit, as teenagers do, and, you know, a bit of an interest. But 2010 was the moment when my life changed forever. I lost my grandparents in a fire, which was just horrendous, as you can possibly imagine. Turned everyone's life upside down. But weirdly, what it was for me, as well as the shock and the grief, was that it proved to be the catalyst for me changing my life. Because before that, I had been kind of drifting along aimlessly, didn't really know who I was or where I wanted to go or anything. Had lots of rubbish jobs that made me miserable. And not long, probably about 5-6 months after we lost my grandparents, I met a friend of my mum's who was a psychic medium, and the first words out of her mouth to me was, "You can do what I can do, you know." And I was like, pardon me? Excuse me? It wasn't even on my radar, and yet working with her just brought my gifts out. It opened me up. It was a really life-changing moment. And yes, I went through the dark night of the soul. Yes, I thought I was losing my mind and questioned my sanity at times. But since then, I mean, I have just been on such a journey. I've obviously started with the tarot and did consider being a medium, but had some pretty spooky experiences that scared me for life. So no, that's not for me. But then I found, I did a course where I learned to connect with the angels, and through there helped other people to do the same. And then it's just been a case of learning and growing as I go. And I still feel after 10 years that I'm just at the start of my journey. I still feel there's a lot more to come. I don't know what it is, but I'm excited.
I'm excited for you as well. I absolutely love it. Absolutely love that, Katie. I mean, it's amazing to hear your journey as well. You know, that'll inspire many other people. And I always love hearing, you know, people's journeys because they're not always, you know, great. We go through hard times. Like you said, you know, go through, you know, dark nights. You question yourself. Is this real? Is this not real? But at the end of the day, you know, good times, bad times, it's got you to where you are today, which is a fabulous place. It looks fabulous from where I'm sitting anyway.
Well, yeah, I mean, I still have challenges and up days and down days like everybody else. And my key thing is always, I'm a natural born optimist. I'm a positive person. So that even when I do have bad times or hard times, I have the faith and the optimism to know that it's not my permanent destination. I know that it's just a challenge and it's part of my growth. And I always look to find a way to see how I can try and move past it at some point, you know? I don't try and stay in that dark place, because it's not good for anybody, really, let's be honest.
And keep moving as well. That's the main thing, isn't it, right there, is keep moving forward. Always. And of course to the light. Well, earlier this year, you released your 4th book, which is just beautiful. It's called The Self-Love Pledge. I mean, what's that book all about, Katie? Basically, in essence, it's my journey. So until the age of 34-ish, I can't stress this enough. It's like underlined 3 times in pink. It's got sparkles around it. I did not like the person I was at all. Like, at all. I was given my right arm and leg to be anybody else, right? You wouldn't have known it if you met me, because I was still on the outside this person. Because I've always been kind of gobby and confident. That's just who I am. I'm a Scouser. I can't help it. But inside, it was a mask. Because inside, I was like, they don't like me. They're laughing at me. They're talking about me. I don't like myself. And then I was going through the breakup of my marriage, which again is a horrible time, but again proved to be a catalyst for me. It's clearly my life lesson, where it helped me to realise that actually I'm okay as I am. And that was then the journey to start loving myself. So the book is the journey that I've been on, and how not loving myself was so bad and led me to some very bad places, but how I turn things around. So then I give lessons and teachings and exercises for the readers to do the same in their own life. I love that. So how important do you think, self-love actually is?
Oh my God, it's the foundation of everything. Like, I wish I'd known this sooner, but then, everything happens as and when it's supposed to, right? But it's just a foundation of your happiness. It is the basis of your relationships with other people. It's the relationship with yourself. It will dictate what job you have, how, whether you allow yourself to go for your dreams or you settle for something that doesn't make you very happy. It's really is the bedrock of everything. It's not, some people, I think even now think it's kind of vain and selfish or even narcissistic. And some people can take it to that place, of course. But self-love ultimately is being kind to yourself, right? And also making sure that you are looking after your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health as best as you can on a daily basis.
Yeah, getting it all balanced. No, I love that. And that's so important as well, Katie, to know. And that's, like you say, I agree with you. The foundations is, you've got to love yourself first before you can, show love, to anybody else and anything else. Really. Exactly.
RuPaul on Drag Race has got it right. You know what I mean?
Totally. I love that, Katie. I love it. Well, and you work with angels too, which is just fabulous. And you've written a book on that as well, which is Little White Feathers. I need to read that book as well. I've not got it. I will get it and I will read it. But what was the inspiration for that book, Katie?
It's funny because I realise now, looking back, that every book I've written has been where I've been in that moment in my life, right? And I write books not only to help other people, but also really to help myself, because the book I'm looking for doesn't exist in that moment. So I think, I know, I'll write it. So I was I was doing my angel course and it was going fantastic. And I was having all these wonderful angelic experiences. I was meeting angels in meditation. It was amazing. I remember sitting there one evening with my husband at the time, watching a bit of telly, and we both literally saw a white feather materialise from the ceiling and fall down in front of us.
Wow.
It was crazy, right?
That's amazing.
So when you have experiences like that, you feel drawn, you feel the need to share these gifts and this knowledge and this connection and this joy with other people, because I knew how much it was enriching my life. I knew how much it made me feel connected to myself and connected to spirit and connected to everybody else, and I wanted to share that with other people because I think I'm not selfish. I think, well, I think this isn't just my gift. I want everyone to know about this. It's a beautiful, wonderful thing.
You want to share it, of course. You do want to share
everybody.
it.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to go down like in the supermarket going, do you know about Archangel Michael? Yeah, do you know? Have you met him? You should meet him. He's lovely.
It's lovely. I can tell you how you can do it. There's my book. Take my book. Why not? Why not? Well, a massive part of your work as well, Katie, you know, many people will see if they follow you on your socials, is your psychic work and your psychic readings. So what is a psychic reading like with Katie Oman? I want to know.
Well, this is why, to answer your question, this is why I then became a coach. Because, as you can probably tell, I'm not shy at talking. I like talking, it's one of my things. So when I give a tarot reading, when I started giving psychic readings, I was kind of obviously building your confidence. So I was like, okay, this card means this and this, and very much by the book. And then as I started to go on and I trusted my inner self and my intuition and all that stuff, the guidance I was getting, what I found was my psychic readings turned to a bit of a coaching session. And my thing was to leave you feeling empowered that you can go and change your life, right? So the tarot or whatever cards I'm using or however I'm doing it almost became a tool in that process rather than the means to an end, right? They showed me the story of where you were, but they also showed me what guidance you were needed right now. And sometimes that is me going, no, come on, you know, you can do this, you're amazing, and building you up. And other times it is me telling people off, going, what are you doing? Don't be ridiculous. And some people need that, you know?
Some people need to be told it to the
yeah,
point.
Yeah, we do.
No kind of like, you know, fluffing it up or anything like that. It's just,
no.
This is what it is. This is what you should be doing. And that's that. But then that's you doing your job.
Yeah, although there is a part of me afterwards that's like, I'm sorry I shouted at you. I really did it because I love it.
Yeah, but you mean it in love. You mean it from a good place. Yeah. You definitely do. You definitely do with that. Well, you know, a big thing about you as well, Katie, you're a life coach, which I love within that. And, you know, so for anyone, you know, that could be watching and listening to this right now, you know, that could be struggling, what guidance would you give them?
First of all, what I always say is, as I talked about this last week or the week before, was about really hacking me off in the spiritual community about what can be called light washing or spiritual bypassing, where people go, you know, be positive, stick a smile on your face, love and light, look up angels, rainbows, unicorns, it's all wonderful. But let's all face it, we're going through a really, really hard time at the moment, right? Crazy time, unprecedented time. So the first thing I always say is it's okay to not be okay, right? I do not walk around every single day like this. Do you know what I mean? I'm not all jazz hands and rainbows. My kids will tell you there are times when I am really not Miss Happy, believe me. But that's okay, right? Your emotions in themselves are not good or bad. It's what you do with them, right? So if you're feeling annoyed or fed up or you want to have a cry, let it out. As long as you're not hurting yourself or anybody else, it's better out than in. You're pushing it down, you're going to cause yourself problems, right? Second of all, the thing is to find the blessings in each day. And sometimes you have to look really, really hard, let's be honest, but they're there. And it doesn't matter if it's the sun shining, I've got a great cup of coffee, you know, someone made me laugh, somebody held the door open for me. Obviously, at the moment, don't touch the same door without washing your hands. But it's all these things, you know, it's to find the blessing in each day. And that's why a great tool I found was the gratitude journal. Because what that does is that when you start to look for things to write in your journal, you're switching your mindset, because your brain then will look for them. Because you want things to write in the book at the end of the day. You're like, oh yeah, that's good, I remember that. So you're shifting your mindset to a more positive outlook rather than constantly focusing on what's wrong and what you're lacking and what the problems are.
What a good idea. That's a really, really good idea to do. And it is, and I suppose it is about, you know, retraining your brain, looking for those positives, because, you know, it's too easy to look at the negatives, isn't it? You know, oh, you know, this is rubbish,
they're everywhere.
Rubbish day, and it's, you know, for whatever reason, it is too easy to look at the negative side of life. But to look at the positive, it's so much better for us, but it can be so much harder, can't it, sometimes?
Oh yeah, especially at the moment, because there's fear everywhere. You know what I mean? It's all people are talking about. The thing is, you're not your thoughts, right? You are the watcher of your thoughts. And you know this because even when you're not consciously thinking of something, those thoughts still come in. You try to meditate, you know this is true, right? So if you're not your thoughts, therefore you have power over your thoughts. Just because you think it doesn't mean it's true. But it takes conscious effort to change your negativity bias to something more positive. But just because it takes work doesn't mean you can't do it. You just have to show up and be committed, you know?
Love it. Katie Oman has just changed my life in about 2.5 seconds. I've never thought of it like that, though. I've never thought of it like that. And it's true.
Right?
You know, you are not your thoughts.
No, of course you're not.
Your
ego, right? We all have the ego. Your ego is, well, first of all, it's your sense of self. That's kind of but it's also that little inner critic that's like, you're fat, you're ugly, you're stupid, We've all got one.
Yeah.
Even Beyonce has got an inner ego, right? She's there, bless her. I read about Beyonce, actually, interestingly enough. She said she allows herself, I don't know how, she's obviously trained her mind fantastically. She allows herself an hour a week to go to have that ego thoughts. And she lets them all just come. And then she goes, right, we're done now. And going back to being me. So she allows them to come, but she doesn't allow them to dominate.
Yeah. That's quite interesting. And I suppose by doing that, they wouldn't build up either. So it's not always going to be, you know, you're always fighting them off. You've given them their time in the spotlight, because we're talking about Beyonce, and that's a thing. And then she's decided, right, that's that. Love that.
I've done that for the week now. Let's put that back in the box and get on with it.
Right, Katie Oman talking about Queen Bee. Love it. It's how you want to be spending an evening, isn't it? It's how you want to be spending an evening. Absolutely love it, Katie. Well, I want to know, Katie, who has been your biggest spiritual inspiration?
Oh, there's been a few. I mean, initially, when I started this journey, it's kind of I suppose the elephant in the room at the moment, but Doreen Virtue was my first kind of spiritual teacher. You know, now that she's kind of stepped back from that, it's kind of, you know, quite difficult. My biggest, and if you haven't seen her, you must go and read her book. She's amazing. Is Teresa Chung. Yeah. She's incredible because this is a woman now. I've known Teresa for 3 or 4 years. I've never met her in person, which blows my head off. And yet she's one of my biggest supporters, biggest cheerleaders. She believes in me and she always does everything she can to help people who she believes are authentic, who work from the heart, who are not doing it just to line their pockets, who, you know, she wants people, it's very easy for her, because she's a writer, to focus on her own platform and what people can do for her. But she also wants to help lift other people at the same time and give them the space and them the platform. So she's trying to help everybody, not just herself. And I think that's such a beautiful message. You know, it's very easy in this game because it's hard. You know that as well, to kind of get your voice heard and your name out there. It's difficult. It's a very crowded market at the moment.
It is.
So it's very easy. Sorry, go on.
It's all right, but I think it's important, you know, we've got people like that. I mean, even like yourself, to me, you know, straight away, you kind of know that connection when it's authentic. And I think that's important. That's recognized. Yeah,
you want it so that, you know, it's like a stick of rock. So you want it goes all the way through to the core rather than just that surface shine. And there's lots of, in this industry, there's a lot of surface, right? We're not naming names here, we're not naming and shaming, but we both know there's a lot of people who are not always walking that walk. Yep. They talk the talk, but it's not authentic, you know? Because people try and make money. There's ego in this industry, just like every other industry.
Yeah,
you know?
there is. But I've always believed as well that, I mean, but the actual true kind of spiritualism and, you know, the true light work, it isn't for money. It isn't for anything. It's not about your ego. It's not about your name. It's, you know, you helping people at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I think
absolutely.
For me, that's the biggest thing. And I think like when you spend time with people for the right reasons, you know, that feels more than £1 million in your bank account. Do you know what I mean? That's what makes you go to sleep well at night. And I always think the people that go in this for money, you know, they will eventually quieten down because they're not necessarily what it's for and what it's about.
No, and people will see through them at some point. Sometimes it takes a while.
Yeah.
Some people are really good at playing the game, but at some point they will see through that. So,
but
yeah, I mean,
you can see through it, and I can see through it, and you know the people that are doing it for the right reasons. You know, I always think the game's always up really that way. You always know.
Absolutely. I mean, yes, of course I do. I want a bigger platform. Of course I do. I want my name to be more globally known. I'd be stupid not to. But I don't do that for like celebrity and fame. I don't want to be in, Heat magazine and walking the red carpet. I do it because I want to help more people. So the bigger my platform, the more people I'm able to reach. That's what it's all about at the end of the day.
The right way, which is beautiful. With it, I'd like to see you on the catwalk. That'd be quite good. Walking that catwalk next to Beyonce, why not?
I'm too clumsy now. My look, I'd fall over and on my bum. No, it wouldn't be funny, honestly.
Get your name out there.
Yeah, it wouldn't be for me.
Get your name out there, Katie. I love it. All right, Katie, last question for you, my lovely.
Yes.
What do you love most about yourself?
Oh, good question. I like that. I think that my biggest thing I love, physically, I think I've got a pretty cracking smile. I like my smile quite a lot. I think it lights up my face and people can't help but smile back at me, which is pretty good. I like that. But my biggest thing is my big, loving, caring heart. And sometimes that has meant that I've attracted people who have wanted to abuse that and hurt me, because my heart is not just in my chest, it's right here on my sleeve, as most spiritual, sensitive people do. But I still try my best to see the best in people, to help wherever I can, to believe ultimately in the goodness in humanity. And I try not to get too jaded with that. There are times, like you said, good days and bad days, but ultimately my big heart is the thing that carries me through everything. So I'm very proud of that.
Oh, Katie, you're an absolute angel. I've got to say thank you so much for taking the time to speak to me on Keep It Spiritual. Much love and light from me as always. Mwah!
Take care. Thank you, my darling. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much.
There we are. That was the beautiful Katie Oman right there. If you want to know anything about Katie, or maybe you want to purchase one of her books, it's in the description below. And I've got to say thank you so much for watching these videos. Make sure you give us a massive thumbs up and you hit that subscribe button as well, because you don't want to miss a video. That's what it's about. Well, until next time, remember on Friday as well at 6 p.m, I will be having one of my spiritual loves. Make sure you check it out for that. And until next Monday at 6 p.m, I'll see you later.